Want to know what successful people are doing with their money to create wealth and use it consciously for the greater good? Welcome back to Wealth Unplugged, the weekly podcast that gives you diamond tips on creating conscious wealth from changemakers, world shakers, and wealth creators. Now here's your host, Barbara Turley.
Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Wealth Unplugged. Thanks so much for joining in again, and especially to any newbies out there that we've picked up this week, a massive high five to you for joining us. We've got a growing following now, which is really great and makes me quite excited about this podcast, going forward. So this is the show where you get the lowdown from the amazing guests that I interview every week on my Feminine Wealth TV show. And basically, I distill down my key takeouts from the interviews into this nice, short and snappy podcast, so you can just get the key strategies you need while you're on the go. Or perhaps while you're not on the go and soaking in the bath. There's a new idea for you. So this week on the Feminine Wealth TV show, I had a wonderful discussion about the whole concept of legacy with Brooke Alexander, who is the founder of The Legacy Project and author of the soon-to-be-released book by the same name. And I really wanted to get Brooke on the show because legacy is something I talk a lot about on my blog and in my programs. And in fact, it's actually a step in my wealth success map, which you can get over at wealthsuccessmap.com if you haven't already. It's really worthwhile downloading that if you're looking for some wealth success in your life. And I guess I feel the pinnacle of true wealth is to be in a position to have the resources to really give back in a huge way. And I know lots of people would, love to be in that position. I mean, look at Warren Buffett and Bill Gates and what they're doing out there with the Giving Pledge. They've basically gotten a whole pile of billionaires to pledge and give their fortunes away for the betterment of humanity. Now, that's something that just truly speaks to me, and I know it will speak to a lot of you out there, particularly those kind of heart-centered entrepreneurs among us. And, what I love about it is it makes making truckloads of money far more appealing and, in fact, actually quite spiritual. So it's this whole sense that if you're one of those people who makes a lot of money, then why not elevate to the next level of spiritual wealth and start to mobilize that wealth to push the whole of humanity forward in a positive way. So when I found Brooke and the work she's doing, I fell even more in love with this concept because in Brooke's view, how we show up every day, the choices we make, the interactions we have and the way we are all make up our footprint. And our footprint has an effect on those around us in every moment. So her philosophy of living your legacy, as opposed to just leaving your legacy, is really appealing. And it implies that we are in fact leaving our footprint and legacy in every moment and not just at the end of our lives. And in Brooke's own words, she says, we all create a legacy, whether we are conscious of it or not. How beautiful is that? Now, what's even better is this really has nothing to do with money, and it makes the whole legacy idea something we can all start to think about, and not just those who have the financial resources. So why is this important? Well, they say that money makes you, just more of who you already are. So basically, if you're a totally negative, angry and ungrateful cow, then you'll just be more of that the more money you have. And often people, sadly, they think that, if I had more money, then I'd be different. But unfortunately, that's not really true. You would have more choices, yes, but being different comes down to you and not to money. If more of us start to live our lives from the perspective of living our legacy and being conscious of our footprint in every moment rather than retrospectively, then the world would be a far better and more fulfilling place. And any money we make along the way can leverage that precision so beautifully. So as many of you know, many of you who follow me will know, I'm not a subscriber at all to the money can't buy you happiness philosophy, but it's with a big caveat. I'm very specific about what I do believe in, and that is that money's only responsibility is to fuel the journey to the summit of the mountain that you pick. It's not to change the view. The choice of view is your responsibility. So choose consciously and choose wisely. In this sense, money plays an important part in your happiness. It's the fuel you need along the way, but you decide what happiness means to you and then allow money to be a player on your expedition team on that adventure. And this is where I see Brooke's philosophy really blending into mine. If you choose to be conscious of your footprint and live your legacy in every moment, then the view from the top at the end of your life, I guess, basically, will be just breathtaking and absolutely perfect for you. The money you make along the way is there to serve your journey and to make it as epic a journey as possible. But what is your legacy? What does legacy really mean? I mean, legacy, unfortunately or fortunately, it's entirely up to you. Money has no clue what you want, but it sure as hell is waiting to serve you when you get clear and tell the universe exactly what it is that you want. So the key here is to get conscious every single day, wherever you are at in your life right now, of the legacy that you're living, and ask, does it match the legacy you want to look back and see before you exit this world? If it's not, it's time to wake up and smell the roses. Your legacy is waiting to be lived. But how do we know what our legacy really is? So let's get on to that. So many of us struggle with this whole finding my purpose stuff, and it actually gets quite exhausting. I think everyone's running around looking for their purpose right now, and it's tiring a lot of people out because we don't know where to look. We feel some people are on purpose and others are not, and why aren't I? So Brooke and I talked about this for quite a while, and again, something she said really resonated with me. Basically, you need to get super clear on what your true values are and how you want to feel, or as Danielle Laporte calls them, your core desired feelings. And that's really key. How do you want to feel in life? So how do you find that out? Well, often the diamonds are lying right at the center of the bitter lemons that get thrown at us in life. And most of us try to push these bitter lemons aside. We try and pretend they didn't happen and move on. It's that whole philosophy of pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and move on like nothing ever happened. It's that attitude. But this becomes kind of a wasted experience then, because painful and all as it is to go headlong into the emotion of a bitter lemon experience, the answers we seek are often waiting for us right there at the center. When we allow ourselves to be cracked wide open, we very, very quickly find our truth. And the reason I'm really, heavy on this subject is I can say this from personal experience. The reason I'm now on this podcast and I'm feeling finally like I'm absolutely living my legacy these days is because I was cracked wide open by a personal situation a few years ago. And look, the pain of that experience was so severe, but I knew the only way out was right through the middle. Because I know, they say you have to feel it to heal it. And I was going right into the middle of this experience and really feeling the pain. But what I didn't realize was the diamonds I had been seeking for a long time were actually waiting there for me right in the middle of that pain. And everything all of a sudden was so clear to me. The way I was living every day, the job I was doing, everything. It was not how I wanted it to be. It was how I thought it should be. And I was very much how I thought I should be. And as Brooke said in the interview, often we wear so many masks that we actually become the mask. So don't be afraid of the darkness. Walk towards it and let your legacy reveal its light from there. This is where true wealth really comes alive. And true wealth is about so much more than the money. And I really hope today's deep show has helped you to uncover what you might be doing wrong on your path. So I think that's a really good point to finish on today and for this week. It's a powerful podcast, this one, and it's about, deep feelings and emotions. So I don't want to go too long with this. As always, if you enjoyed today's show, I'd love to hear about it in the comments below or over on the Energize Wealth blog at energizewealth.com. It'd also be great if you could subscribe to the show wherever you're listening to it. So for example, if you're on iTunes or Stitcher or Podomatic, you can actually subscribe to the show. And if you would do me the honor of leaving a review, it would really help the show out. And basically, the more subscribers and the more reviews we get, it helps to get the show into the hands of more people and in front of the eyeballs, I guess, of more people. And it gets these messages out to more people in a big way. So this is really a community for all of us to share in and grow in. So, keep the comments coming, keep subscribing, keep listening to the show. And if you're game enough and have questions for me, I'm now doing 2 live sessions a week where you can actually come and ask me any questions you like. I have a Twitter chat every Monday at 1 p.m. Sydney time using the hashtag Wealth Unplugged, where you can join the conversation and ask me questions there. And I'm also doing a new Google Hangout every Friday morning at 9 a.m. Sydney time. So I think you guys in the US will be able to catch on to that one as well. About half an hour, and I answer questions on there, and I'm going to be doing, each week I'll be on a new topic. So at the moment my topic is the biggest wealth blocks of women. So if you're game enough to join that, jump on to my website at energizewealth.com and you'll be able to follow the Google Hangout there. So remember to tune in next week when I'm going to be exploring this concept of choices a little bit further after my interview with an amazing woman called Pina De Rosa. And Pina is based in California, so she was my first offshore interview and we did it over Skype. And she is a TEDx speaker with a TED Talk that has been viewed over 250,000 times. So I got some great tips from her about the choices we make in life and how to do a TED Talk. So if you're interested in that, tune in next week. Until then, have a great week. Thanks.
Thanks for tuning in. Come and join us on energizewealth.com to continue the conversation. Get your free video training, 7 Steps to Energized Wealth, and watch the video interviews that were the inspiration behind this episode.